This is KGW News at 11.
We begin at 11 with another round of snow. We're seeing flakes from coast to the metro area as well. Almost everyone has gotten at least a little bit of snow tonight. Our reporter Alma McCarty is out checking on road conditions around the metro area. But let's start with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino with the latest on how much snow we can expect through the night. Matt?
Thanks so much, Pat. Yeah, it has been a snowy night, mainly light snow in the Portland area. It still have light snow downtown right now. This is the KGW parking lot where it is 29 degrees. So yes, the snow continues to fall, though it's really been on the light side around town. Newport, the snow is a lot lighter right now at the Oregon coast, still hanging at 32. But this is what it looked like earlier at Newport. It was absolutely dumping on the coast. Heard from a lot of you who live in and near the coast range. Had several inches of snow. There's over a foot of snow on the ground in Dallas, Oregon. Snow continues to fall in the Mid-Valley. Temperatures are pretty much around 30 to 31 degrees, 28 downtown. You see we've got 32 in McMinnville, 27 in Hood River. So it will remain below freezing overnight tonight. Anything on the roads will stay frozen. I mean, the car tires can kind of melt it, but then it refreezes, and that means it's going to stay slick. Interesting trend on Doppler radar right now, though. The snow band that was over us is lightening up and shrinking down a little bit. Still hanging pretty tough over Clark County and the Portland metro area from about the West Hills eastward. So yes, light snow will continue. There's also another batch that's forming to the north right now. Keeping my eye on this up around the Olympic Peninsula with showers off of Astoria. That will be sinking south. So with all of that in mind, we're looking at light snow continuing on and off overnight, even though it hasn't really stopped yet. It will kind of begin to break up a little bit. Another ½ an inch to 2 inches on the way by tomorrow morning. Snow-covered roads, they will be slick in the morning for the commute, such as it is. A lot of people working from home or staying home because of the holiday, but still, I expect the light snow to still be falling around the morning commute hours. And again, staying below freezing through the day tomorrow and into Wednesday as even colder air begins to move on down. So we'll talk about what's coming up next. More on the snow situation tonight. Pat, in a bit. Back to you.
Terrific. Thank you, Matt. We've heard of a few crashes out there so far. Alma McCarty is out on Drive 8 checking out the major roads tonight. What are you seeing out there?
Hey, Pat. And so I do want to be clear that I am actually not the one who is driving. Our photojournalist Corey is driving the car, so I am just observing things out here. And it just really depended on whatever road that you were on, the conditions of them. Right now, we are getting on 26 going east back into Portland. We had taken Burnside to Barnes Road, headed west to see what the conditions were like in the West Hills. I'm going to turn the camera around to kind of give you a look at how things are right now. As you can see, they're pretty clear, and of course that's to be expected on a road like this where you have a lot of different drivers, and of course they have been treated. And of course those secondary roads too, they looked very different from this, completely covered in snow, and it looked as though many neighbors did not venture out. But take a look at this video that we shot earlier tonight, just showing you some of the conditions out there. Yeah, although there weren't that many drivers out on the roads tonight, you could see, as this person experienced, there were some issues. That per car that was spinning, well, they never really made it up the hill. As we left that area again on Barnes Road, they were kind of stuck. There was another driver who was right nearby. He was putting chains on his rear wheels in order to navigate the roadway, which at that point was pretty snow-packed in that area. Again, Barnes Road area west of Burnside in Portland. And we also followed a de-icer earlier, hard at work on 405, focused really on the ramps and the hills, areas that could be problematic if they froze. But again, take a look at the current conditions out. Again, we are on 26 heading east. Of course, as you can see by this sign, it says ice use caution. So that's just pretty much a good piece of advice all the way around. I will say, from our short period of time that we've spent out here, there haven't been that many drivers that have been speeding or anything like that, which is definitely good to see. Just people using caution out on the roadways, definitely something that you can take tomorrow morning. Just be cautious out there on the roads. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Alma. I know Barnes Road well. It can be a real nightmare on nights like this. Your photos are helping us get a look at what it's like all over the area tonight. Check out this shot from Roseanne. Snow at the state capitol in Salem. From Longview, Washington, Vola sent this photo of snow-covered trees. That's pretty. And the holiday lights are helping the snow glow in Happy Valley. Thanks to Sally for this nice shot. And check out this snowy retreat up in Welches. That's on the way to Mount Hood, of course. You can share your winter weather photos by texting 503-226-5088 or submit them on the KGW app. Tow truck drivers saw a busy Monday. They're hoping that you'll stay off the roads tomorrow morning if it's icy in your area, which it probably will be. There were several wrecks in Washington County this morning and other cars sliding down slick hills.
Stay home if you can, because there's no reason to be out in this and getting hurt or causing other people to get hurt. It's taking your life in your hands. It doesn't look bad, but it's icy as heck.
Figured there shouldn't be too much snow driving to work in the morning, and then the moment you hit the black ice, it's just game over.
Yep, big problem. A lot of the crashes we saw early today were not on the major roads, but on the side streets, which are often in worse condition. The snow is falling on some of the busiest travel days of the year, and it's created headaches for all kinds of folks. Tonight, we saw a busy Union Station in Portland. Many were waiting to board Amtrak trains that were delayed by the weather. PDX was bustling all day as well. A bunch of flights coming in or leaving were delayed or canceled. One example, one from LA, is about to land right now at PDX, but it was originally scheduled to be here just after 7:30 tonight. It's been that kind of day. And check this out. This was the line of people trying to get a cab at the airport last night. Many waited for hours. There weren't enough drivers to go around, either for taxis or Uber or Lyft. A radio cab spokesman said, don't expect to be able to get a ride quickly no matter where you need to go.
Right now, between the weather and the high demand of the Christmas rush just coming to an end, expect hours-long waits. And if you go to the grocery store, you're going to wait for a couple hours to get there, but you're going to wait for a couple hours to get home. So really think about the necessity of your travel needs before you make the call, because it will be frustrating.
Wow, that's a half-day outing right there. That's Darren Campbell, by the way. He says this is not just a winter weather problem. He says there are simply not that many drivers for hire these days. We mentioned flight cancellations. Many of them across the country are due to COVID cases among airline staff. But a change from the CDC today could get some of those workers back on the job faster. The agency now says people who test positive for COVID but are not showing symptoms only need to isolate for 5 days. Previously, it was 10.
They have an essential job. We want to get them back on that job before the 10-day period.
The CDC cited research that shows a COVID-positive patient spreads the disease more in the early stages of the illness. Some states are setting record highs for new infections as the Omicron variant spreads much faster than previous variants. In Oregon, COVID case numbers are starting to inch back up slightly after a pretty steady decline since the summer. This graph shows the number of new COVID cases reported each day for the past 6 months. The average is now about 900 cases a day. Look to the far right there. You can kind of see that spike again. Washington is also starting to see the trend line go back up. An OHSU analyst who forecasts how bad our COVID surges will be predicts Omicron will be bad, but not quite as bad as he earlier thought. Alma McCarty talked with him late today to find out what's behind that change.
The Omicron surge is on its way, according to Dr. Peter Graven, head of data forecasting for OHSU.
This is kind of the last bit of warning that we get.
His latest projections show COVID hospitalizations in Oregon would peak in mid-February at 1,250 patients. That's if Oregonians take steps to protect themselves, but a projected 1,700 if not.
Honestly, I think if anything, the peak is going to happen even sooner. So we're going to be seeing things more in January than February. We'll have some revisions this week, but the speed of it is really fast everywhere.
Graven's previous projections about the Omicron surge showed hospitalizations peaking around 2,000 or 3,000, but he lowered that number because more people are getting booster shots, and there's new data from Europe, which revealed lower hospitalization rates for this variant compared with Delta. Graven expects overall more people, vaccinated and unvaccinated, will become infected this time around.
I would say you're not as protected as you used to be. And so that's probably a bigger change for the vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, of course, the story is still the same, as you should do all those things. But I think for a lot of people, the new information is that this is definitely spreading amongst vaccinated people. While the vaccine is helping and the booster is helping to prevent the hospitalization and the severe disease, it's still spreading.
Washington state health leaders also predicting many more cases with this wave. Daily infections in the tens of thousands in February due to the Omicron variant. While early indications show it may not cause as severe disease in vaccinated people, Graven says there's no information to show the virus is less severe in the unvaccinated population.
I know most people are thinking, hey, we can't survive this anymore. We're gonna get exposed to it, and we just got to take our chances. And to a large extent, that's true. We just can't all do it at once. And so the behavior modification, this isn't to do it forever. This is to do it to get through the next 2 months. You're probably going to get exposed to this. You'll probably build some immunity, but we can't take the chances right now of everybody doing it at the same time.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.